Well, good morning internets. Here we are. We have ourselves a start to another day. It is supposed to be a beautiful sunny day out. Finally getting some sun after multiple days of rain. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So, here we go. Well, the other day I dug out Dad's old mobility scooter. The reason why I say old is, well, this scooter was purchased in, I believe, 2001. And Dad used it for, well, many years. And when he moved to the city, he left it behind. And then when he came back, he didn't want to use it. And I always kept it because, well, we fought for it so hard, and it was expensive to purchase. And I figured that if he needed it, it was still here until we could get him a new one, right? Well, I dug it out the other day and cleaned it up, and then put a charge on the batteries, which I kept downstairs all these years, and then went to see if it works. Well, lo and behold, after sitting for 6 years or so, it fires right up and works like it always did. I was kind of surprised because the scooter itself sat in the shed, which is a non-climate controlled, semi-humid, environment, and I thought for sure, the little electric motor would be rusty or seized or something from all those years of sitting, but that's not the case, and it was kind of surprising. I guess, it was maintained and it was took care of. The person here that was maintaining the scooters in the early years, I'm not quite sure if they were new at it or didn't quite know what they were doing, but every time we took it to them, it would get worse. So I had to learn myself, crash course, to work on Dad's scooter when it broke. And over the years, it had multiple flat tires and changed out different tires and changed out this and changed out that, and the battery charger went bad on it. There was a broken wire that I had to trace. Rebuilt the suspension with heavier duty springs in it so it would ride a little higher per se, and I forget what else that has been all done to it, but it was definitely a learning experience for me 10 years ago, or even if you want to say 17 years ago when we got the mobility scooter. Well, this outage that I've been through has me thinking. The powers that be told me that they won't cut the power and gas off come winter, but there's nothing stopping them from doing it in the summertime when it is warm enough for you to survive. However, it doesn't take into account you having to cook food, or you having to, bathe and stuff as well, right? With our fancy hot water heaters, they take power to make the hot water, to tell the gas hot water heater to turn on to make the water, and then, it wouldn't have been bad, right? If I would have had the old hot water heater, because I could have just bathed by candlelight or flashlight, but whatever, eh? That's how we learn. But it has me thinking that maybe I should buy an old RV or motorhome or something and park it in here. That way, if or when it does go out again, which I'm sure it will before winter, I have a place to shower and have a place to cook. Because cooking on your camp stove inside your house when it's been raining for a week is not fun and dangerous, of course, because of the carbon monoxide, right? And not being able to shower, especially during a heat wave, is not fun either. And I have certain needs lately with my illness that I have to have a bathroom close. I have to have like air conditioning. When I'm really sore, the heated seats in the truck and the hot showers and stuff like that help, or at least ease some of the discomfort. So having them disconnected like that was not nice, was not fun. Especially after like 20 years of always paying my bills. You go through a little bit of a hard time, nobody seems to care, and they cut you off the first chance they get. Well, I believe I put this in my last vlog that I was working on my front yard with help from friends and family. I was able to reach a huge milestone, a huge goal. Got all those rocks and brick and ugliness out of my yard and reseeded it, and now it's starting to do this. Well, if you guys can see this on camera, all that green is not weeds. I've actually got grass growing here. And with the recent rain like we've had and the heat that's coming, the grasses will fill out and grow in pretty good. Probably will never get grass that last foot next to the house, but at the same time, hey, it's a lot better than what it was, right? But pretty much, guys, of course, got the day underway. I'm not 100% sure what direction it's gonna go. Probably get myself cleaned up, woken up, stay close to home like I normally do, plan out the next round of nonsense for next week, and well, around we go. So yeah, we'll catch you all later. Well, hello internets, here we are. A little bit of a late afternoon update. Well, the day just totally slipped away for me. Ended up crashing, actually catching some sleep for a change. I've been struggling for a very long time now, dealing with disruptive sleep patterns, and in the last, I don't know, 3 months or so, it has pretty much changed to insomnia that maybe I'll catch a half an hour or an hour now and again of sleep, and I can go for 2-3 days without sleep at all, and just plain and simple, you know, can't sleep, right? You know how they say hindsight is always 20/20. I've had a lot of time to think about certain things that have gone on in my life over the last, well, depends on how far you want to go back, years, you know. Let's go back to the 2009 Canyon. If I never would have bought the 4-cylinder 2009 Canyon, I never would have been restricted to what kind of trailer I could pull. I could have got into my larger RV, or maybe in fact started my cargo trailer conversion, you know, 10 years earlier, and actually been able to have completed it and got some use out of it. However, at the time, the 2009 Canyon was the best truck I could buy, I could afford. Because, well, you know, when you're starting out, you don't have the best of credit, and you gotta go through a couple of front-wheel drive cars before you can actually get into a truck. And, you know, we've all made choices, whether it's to accommodate other people or taking the easy way out of certain situations, and sometimes those choices don't quite work in our favor. And when you have a lot of time to think, you think, well, maybe I should have went a certain way or did something a little bit different, but it's I don't know how to say it correctly, but you know, you can't change it. The past is the past, the future's yet to be, and the future's going to be what you make of it. If you learned from your mistakes and try not to repeat them, that's pretty much the best that we can ask now, isn't it? You know, I've made some mistakes in the last 5 years especially, since my life started to change. Some of the things I've done was due to my life changing. I thought maybe I could hold on to certain things in my life without letting them go. But unfortunately, that's not quite the way things go, you know. And of course, it's changing once again. I don't know how far or fast or when it's going to happen, but when it does, it does. You know, all we got to do, or all we can do, is hang on and hope for the best when it happens. Well, can you believe the summer is coming to an end already? You know, just another few weeks and we'll be into fallish, and the kids will be putting on their Halloween costumes and all that good stuff. After that, the temperature starts to drop, and well, we end up spiraling into winter. And I still, as of right now, don't have anything planned for my living accommodations or the future. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, or where things are going to go, or how far things are going to go, but when they do land, in 6 months or so, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a new start, new beginning, new chapter in my life. Have you ever noticed on, well, social media or even in your personal life, whether it's work life or friends, there's always that one person or people where everything is a catastrophe. Everything is a big deal. Everything is a status they have to post on social media, or attention getter, you know. There was a person a few years ago bought a vehicle, and due to the fact that they didn't work, the vehicle got repossessed. Well, now they post on social media about how they wish they had a car, it's hard to get around, and all this stuff. Well, they had vehicles, and due to their inability to pay or not paying, it got repossessed, and everything is a catastrophe. Everything is poor me, or everything is... And that's one of the things that I'm trying not to do, even though that I've got a lot of stuff going on. I'm trying to own my mistakes, my responsibilities. I'm trying to take responsibility for them and not put the poor me on social media. Other than posting my link to the house on social media, I haven't posted nothing on what's really been going on. There's members of my family have no clue what's going on, you know. I deal with things internally. I deal with things myself. If you're not part of the inner circle, you don't have any idea what's going on in my life. You know, even my best friend doesn't really have any idea what's going on either, because I keep things to myself. If I can't fix it myself, if I can't move the furniture myself, then I don't ask for help, and I've been like that my whole life. My dad always told me that if you can't solve the problem yourself, then you've got problems. When he would buy me Lego or any type of construction material, blocks or whatever like that, the first thing he would do is take away the instructions, and he would tell me, now, see that? Build it. And I had to problem solve, and that problem solving has stayed with me my whole life. I see a problem, I work out to a way to fix it. You know, like I mentioned earlier about buying some old wore out RV just so I'd have running water and place to shower and bathroom and cook and stuff. If and when it happens again that they shut me off, which quite possibly before freeze up, you know, they will once more. I also was looking at ideas to have an outdoor shower where you use the sun to heat up a black barrel full of water, and then you can have a quick little shower under the 30-gallon or so black barrel, and it's warm enough to be comfortable. All my life I've been a problem solver. You know, I've done my best to deal with things myself, and I think that's where sometimes some of my mistakes come in. is rather than asking for help years ago, I dealt with it myself to the point now where I can't deal with it myself. And people think that I'm just crying wolf because I'm only at the early stages of dealing with things. Well, it's not the way it is. 12 years ago when I bought the house, it was fine for the first couple of years, but after that it became a struggle. And I've struggled with this house for 10 years, and it's only now, 10 years later, that it's finally coming to the peak, to the point where, maybe I should have gave up 5 years ago. That bank guy really had me thinking, or has got me thinking, that maybe he was right. If I would have given up 5 or 4 years ago, I'd be further ahead than what I am right now. However, I needed to know that what I can and could not do. When you fell off your bicycle, or when you spilt your first bowl of cereal, did you just say, oh, that's enough, I'm not going to ever do it again? Or did you get back up and try it again? Well, most of us weren't snowflakes and we got back up and tried it again. We don't give up until we have to, or forced to, and that's kind of where I am right now. But it is what it is, and around we roll. Gonna go in and get on with the evening, and we'll probably see y'all later. Well, hello internets, here we are. We come to the end of another day. Well, it was a quiet day, it was a good day, it was a beautiful day. Not a rain cloud in sight, which after the weekend we had was, well, pretty sweet, well welcomed. Well, you know how people put on social media that they need help, and when you're going through a little bit of a rough time yourself, you tend to sympathize with these people, and you put out a call to them that I don't have much, but you're more than welcome to come crash here for a couple days or a week or whatever it is, and they turn you down. In my opinion, if you're asking for help, why would you turn down an offer of no strings attached? Just come and crash here for a couple of days. This was the genuine offer of no strings attached. I had a bed, I have an extra bed, they could crash on, shower, electricity, kitchen facilities. They'd have to go get their own food, but it is what it is. However, they turn me down, or they turn us down, and it kind of makes a person wonder why they turn you down. But being in a similar situation, except I haven't put out on social media that I need help or nothing. I do understand, I'm trying to make it on my own, and if someone came up to me and gave me a no strings attached loan, pay me back piece by piece when you can, I would probably find it really, really hard to accept it myself. I would probably end up turning them down, mainly because, well, the outcome is still the same, regardless whether I get a loan or not. It might get me by for 6 months, but at the same time, come next spring, I'm going to be back at the same boat. So sometimes it's better to rip the band-aid off fast to get it over and done with and bury it than it is to, well, prolong it and have to end up doing the same thing anyways in 6 months or a year. I know I've had a lot of restless nights and sleepless nights, and I spend a lot of that time weighing out options and thinking about things and thinking about other outcomes and stuff, and sometimes it's not good. Sometimes I overthink things too much. Sometimes I need to just step back and things will work out the way they are, well, meant to work out. However, at the same time, there's time-sensitive things that kind of need to be dealt with, that if you do wait for them to fix themselves, it's going to be too late. You know, realistically speaking, there's a few things in my life that have to be dealt with soon, rather than later, and there's a few things in my life that aren't huge priorities as of right now that we can work with and deal with them as they rear their ugly heads. Next week I've got to make some phone calls and get some things going there. I don't know how things are going to go, but I guess they will be what they are. You know, you look on the bright side, the positive side, when the big change comes. It'll be a change, and it'll be a change for the future in the right direction. You know, a single guy living in a 3-bedroom house is not a good use of the space. There could quite easily be a family in here. A young couple with a kid or two that could quite easily use the space more than a single guy like me that really doesn't use the house much at all. And some guy who works on cars could use the garage to tinker on his project. The kids could play in the yard, where I've been sick for the last couple of years and haven't been able to do my projects, and I don't have any kids to play in the yard. So it kind of is what it is. You know, like I said there earlier, as one chapter closes, another chapter opens, and this house was once a dream of mine 12 years ago, or I guess I should say 20 years ago. However, I waited too long to get into it. Most people, when they're done school, immediately start, you know, looking at homes or relationships or whatever, and I waited a little longer to get into some of that, and I guess I waited too long. Sometimes when you wait for opportunities, they don't come when you need them to be here. Sometimes you have to make your own. But pretty much, guys, gonna end her all here. Today was a good one, tomorrow one's another one, and around we roll. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.